Alright, before I talk about the Alpaka Gear Metro Tote Bag, I just wanted to talk a little bit about how I have been reducing my social media intake lately. If you are following me on Instagram at you might have seen that I am doing a couple of steps to reduce my social media intake, and that I wanted to share because I think you could benefit from it too if you were struggling with social media intake. Obviously, I am a content creator, so I can't completely deinstall Instagram, for instance, because I still want to publish my reels and posts and stuff like that. So what I did is, first I cancelled or deactivated all of my notifications. This also included switching back to my regular mechanical watches, which I actually enjoy a lot, going back to mechanical watches. I have 3 watches that I switch in between: my Steinhardt Ocean 500 Titanium, this Vario Trench watch, and my Psycho Baby Monster or Nano Monster. I think it's called Baby Monster. And currently I switch between those 3, and I basically ditched my Samsung Watch 4 smartwatch. I still use it at night to use it as an alarm clock to wake me up silently. I love that feature. And during the day, I just put it on the charger or on my desk or wherever, so I don't get distracted with notifications. So that is a huge step for me personally to go away from social media. So switching off notifications on Instagram was the first step to reduce my social media intake. The next step was in Android, and I believe in iPhone as well, you can do an app timer on specific apps. And what I did is I put a 30-minute app timer on Instagram. So I still want to utilize Instagram for direct messaging, and YouTube unfortunately does not allow direct messaging. So I keep Instagram for direct messaging, and I thought 30 minutes per day is enough to answer all of the DMs during the day. So that is the second step that I did with social media intake. So that really prevents me to just open up Instagram whenever I feel the urge or I am bored and kind of want to doom scroll on social media. The next step that I did is to kind of dumb down my smartphone. I need my smartphone for work, to answer emails and stuff like that. So what I did is to make social media intake a little bit less attractive, and on Samsung I can actually make a mode, and I created this work mode in which everything is black and white. My whole screen is black and white. I further reduced some notifications to only be notified by messaging apps and by email and phone calls, but I reduced as many notifications as possible, and the screen is black and white. And this really reduced my social media intake because obviously it's not that pretty to look at pictures. So the only thing that is actually useful for me is to work on the phone, but to also listen to Audible. For instance, I'm listening to Harry Potter again at the moment, or to listen to podcasts. That heavily reduced my screen on time in regards to social media, and I can highly recommend, if you want to reduce social media, those 3 steps: reducing notifications, installing an app timer, and making your phone a little bit less attractive by having a black and white mode activated during the day really helps a lot to reduce social media intake. And I would love to know from you, do you try to actively reduce your social media intake or your screen on time? If yes, what other steps did you do to reduce the screen on time on your phone? Let me know in the comment section below. And now let's go over the Alpaka Gear Metro Tote Bag. Alright, let's talk about the Alpaka Metro Tote Bag. I have to admit, this is probably the first time that I actually used a tote bag as much as in this review, because I don't really am the kind of person that uses tote bags due to the one-sided weight distribution. With the backpack, obviously the weight is on both shoulders, therefore your bag isn't kind of like slanted or anything due to the weight. But many people have told me, hey, I'm using a tote now, maybe you should try it too. And I feel like this year and the upcoming year will be the year of tote bags. I believe they will become somewhat popular due to their unisex style. I feel that this is easily being able to be used by any gender, any age, without feeling a little bit weird. You know how people say, oh, I don't wear a backpack because I'm not going to school anymore. And that is the reason why I kind of speculate that tote bags will become kind of popular over the next few months. But that is, again, just my speculation. And this Alpaka Gear Metro Tote bag is probably one of the bags that I believe will be very easy to recommend to any gender, any age. And yeah, it's a great companion for the office. And I really want to preface this. As mentioned, the one-sided weight distribution isn't great if you have to walk a lot, if you have to carry a lot of heavy items. But from what I can gather is that many people who are using tote bags will use the car anyway to go to work. So this is only to be intended for short walk distances to carry all of the items that you need for work or on that day, but not necessarily if you have to walk maybe, I don't know, half an hour to work because you don't want to take the train or anything. Also, this isn't that great on a bicycle if you don't have like a basket on the back of your bicycle where you could put this tote bag, because this will be very difficult to have on your shoulder and then kind of bicycle. Then it is also good as a personal item when you're traveling. If you have a rolling case, you can put this on the handles of your rolling luggage. But that's probably the only occasions where I can kind of recommend a tote bag, because it is not that great to carry over longer periods of time. While the shoulder straps on this Metro tote bag are comfortable in your hands or on your shoulder if the bag is full, if you have to walk 20 minutes or something and you maybe have an air quotes weak shoulder, then this will get exhausting over time. I have not been reviewing a lot of Alpaka Gear bags lately. For those of you who might remember, many years ago I reviewed one of the very first messenger bags. Back then already the build quality was great. Lately I reviewed the Go Nano Sling that I still use a lot as my everyday carry sling. You can see that review in somewhere up here in the info tab above to check that out and also see how well made that bag is. And just like the Go Sling Nano, I am impressed by the choices of materials and the build quality of this bag. So I like this a lot. On the outside you have a quick access drop-in slot here. Not sure what I personally would use this for, because I don't want to leave this open to pickpockets or have any item kind of like jump out. Not sure what I personally would put in this compartment. I didn't put anything in here, but if you want to quickly store something in here to get maybe your hands free, maybe your keys, drop them in here temporarily, I would really recommend not to keep anything in this pocket, because as I said, I would fear that I would lose it. You have the same open pocket on this side as well. Again, good for items that you quickly want to stash away to keep your hands free. You have a water bottle pocket here on the side, just on this one side. But there is one in the inside as well. I probably would use this for maybe an umbrella. Then you have a dual zipper up here to get into the main compartment. And this is basically just one big main compartment with a couple of drop-in slots to organize all of the items inside. Let's go over what I got in here. My favorite tech pouch, obviously, I'm still using this. There is no other tech pouch that was able to kind of replace this one. This is the Evergoods Cap 2 liters, my tech pouch of choice. By the way, I link all of the items in the description below. Those are affiliate links. With those you won't pay more, but if you want to buy one of these items via those affiliate links, you will support this channel with a small kickback of that sale. And if you do so, thank you very much. So again, Evergoods Cap 2 liters as my tech pouch with my charger, my mouse, and all of the items that I need for work. Next up is my extended EDC with the items that I always need with me, like a charger, a power bank, cables and stuff like that. It's good to have this kind of extended EDCs in your bag, at my humble opinion. I got this pouch from JB Outside. Shout out to him. Great guy, great videos, so check out his channel. And then I have some headphones. These are the Sennheiser HD25. I really like these for their build quality. You can replace actually all of the items on here if anything breaks, and I use them for editing, but back then I also used them for DJing, and that has been many years ago, so it's amazing how well these hold up over the years. Next up, my Carryology Bellroy pencil case that I use as a boo-boo kit. So band-aids, ibuprofen, stuff against allergies. It's still allergy season, unfortunately. Then if I have to talk a lot, some cough drops for my voice, a phone stand for my Samsung Fold 5, which is my favorite item to work with. Usually I don't need a laptop with this because I can basically do everything that I need on this phone, like emailing, taking notes and stuff like that. Because when I'm working, I usually get provided a big editing workstation. I usually do not need my own computer if I'm working at the client. So the Fold 5 is sufficient enough for all of the other tasks. Nevertheless, I have my MacBook Pro 15-inch Retina. So this is an Intel-based laptop. It's very old. I don't use this laptop a lot because I'm editing on my Mac Studio over here, and when I'm at the client, as I said, they have a computer there. But I would love to update this. The battery is basically broken, but yeah, it's slow, still does the job, and therefore I have not seen a reason to replace it. The laptop slot in here, unfortunately, is only padded. It's not suspended. I would have really loved if Alpaka would have included a suspended laptop compartment, especially because a tote is much more prone to kind of be dropped on the ground faster than your backpack. I feel like it is easy to kind of like slip it off your shoulder and then just quickly put it on the ground, and therefore it has a lot of velocity to accidentally bump on the ground. So I would have loved a suspended laptop compartment, and that is definitely a negative where I would say, why didn't you include a suspended laptop compartment? My pro tip, in Germany we have these are called Tempo-Taschentücher, so Kleenex and this kind of compact form factor. I know, or I think Kleenex has in USA but also in Asia these kind of packages. When they're full, you can easily drop them in any laptop compartment of your bag when it's not suspended, and kind of use that as a bumper for your laptop if you drop it on the ground. And that is basically it. You have another drop-in slot here to organize all of your items. Also a key leash, as you see here. I did not use this, so I left this little protective foil on here, but it is a magnetized key leash. You can just open it and then open your door, put it back here, and then drop it in here. What I did not like about this is that all of the slots, drop-in slots here, do not have zippers. I don't really like this for the only reason that things can kind of jump out. Obviously, with a tote bag, you are not running like with a backpack. So it is less likely that any item kind of jumps out of that slot. Nevertheless, if you kind of slide it off your shoulder and it, I don't know, for some reason twists in that direction, items inside can still topple out of these open slots and just be somewhere in the bigger compartment. Not a big deal, but still, I would have loved some, at least, zippered pockets here. You know, when I'm always saying with backpacks and the quick access compartment admin pouch in the front, I kind of like to have slots to utilize the whole vertical space of that compartment. It's similar in a way, although this is not vertical aligned but kind of wide in horizontal space. It is in to some degree different, but still similar. These slots, everything in those slots just accumulates at the bottom. So I would have loved some way of these compartments having some pockets distributed in vertical space, so not everything accumulates here at the bottom inside those slots. So maybe have some pockets up here inside this main compartment to kind of utilize the whole vertical space of the compartment. I like that the inner fabric has this honeycomb structure to it, and it is bright, so it is easy to see all of the items inside. And because you can open it fairly wide, a lot of light gets inside, so you can see your items. So to summarize, I will probably never be a fan of tote bags. I like to use this bag to test it out for a couple of weeks to kind of see how I would like it. And I can really see that people who drive a lot with their cars to work and don't take the subway or don't have to walk a lot, maybe you are right next to the subway station and then you only like walk 5 minutes to the subway, sit down maybe, and then walk from the subway 10 more minutes to your workplace, then this is okay. But I would still always prefer a backpack just because it will evenly distribute the weight on both shoulders and I have my hands free. With a tote bag, you always have only, I would say, 50% of the usability of your arm. When the tote bag is here on your shoulder, obviously you can use your arm, but you always have to, in air quotes, fear that if you use your arm, then the tote bag kind of slides off your shoulder and then you kind of have to catch it. So you have to be aware of the tote bag and hold it a little bit in place. And that is something that I don't really like about tote bags and why I prefer to have a backpack to keep both of my arms and hands free to do whatever I need them to do, basically. And that sentence sounded kind of weird in my ears. So that is the reason why I'm not going to be a big fan of tote bags. That being said, I can see a lot of people liking tote bags. If you drive with a car to work, if you don't have to walk a lot, if you're traveling and use this as a personal item, if you are female and you just don't want to use a backpack, if you are a business person, always have to dress in a suit, in office attire, and you just don't want to use a backpack, I can totally see this being perfect for you. As I said, the build quality is amazing. I actually like the look. It is very toned down. Maybe for some eyes a little bit boring, but again, for people who are using this at the office or using this as a unisex option, I guess this is perfect for them. And the usability is good. You can fit a lot of items in here, as you were able to tell here. It's actually 14 liters of volume, and I can actually argue that it is a little bit more in terms of volume because the whole bag is quite flexible, and I think you can actually overpack it a little bit more than just 14 liters.
Yeah, tell them to watch it. Now I ain't talking my pockets, just know we ain't running out the way that we stock it. If I got it, you got it. If I call it, she slide and tell her to mop it. Yeah, I got that going. Then she took that thing off and bring it around. Going at it till I'm on. Put that 90 in a hole, I'm beating it down. I'm back in that bag again. Whoa, whoa. Oh, say less. I'm back in that bag again. Yeah, yeah. Oh, say less. I'm back in that. Yeah.
So as you can see, you can actually also use a tote bag for grocery shopping, and I was actually overloading it a little bit, so it being a little bit more flexible helps a lot. And by the way, if you consider buying any of these items, not my groceries of course, then check out the affiliate links in the description below. With those you won't pay more, but you will support this channel with a small kickback of that sale. And if you do so, thank you very much. Downside, as mentioned, besides the comfortability, besides being not as comfortable as a backpack, is the not suspended laptop slot. No zippered pockets inside the main compartment, but that's basically it. Oh, by the way, this is somewhat reminds me of Valroy's sling bags, where you have this kind of lip, and I would not call this a lip but somewhat of a pool area, because once the zippers are closed you have this walls. So if you get into rain, and I assume if you use this you probably won't walk a lot in the rain, or at least not for an extended period of time, but water can kind of accumulate in this pool area, I would call it. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. But again, I don't think anyone will walk with this for many minutes in the rain. So yeah, that's not that big of a deal. So that is the Alpaka Gear Metro Tote Bag. What do you think about this bag? And more importantly, do you think that tote bags will become more popular in the future? Let me know in the comment section below. And also let me know what you think about tote bags in general. Do you use them? Yes, no, maybe? If yes, you might want to check out the tote bag video up here. And YouTube thinks that you like this video down here. And don't forget to subscribe on the button up here, and also maybe click the bell icon so you won't miss the next videos. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you in the next video.